Good morning, Year 5. I hope you're all well today on this lovely Friday morning. It's finally the end of the week. Yippee! Okay, well done this week for all your hard work. I've said it all week, but fractions are really tricky. Okay, so you've done really well if you've been persevering. Okay, if you have missed a couple of these videos from this week, please don't try and start today. Okay, you must go back to when we started the fraction topic, the concept, because it's like watching a film. You watch the beginning of a film, you miss a few days, and then you press play and it's at the end. You've missed that whole chunk in the middle. Okay, so it's really, really important that you do catch up on any videos that you have missed. So today we're going to continue practicing subtracting proper fractions from mixed numbers. Okay, but let's start with your arithmetic. So you have got 7 times tables, you have got sequencing, and you have got a goal challenge of multiplying 4-digit numbers by 2-digit numbers. With the sequencing, make sure you're really checking your place value, okay, to see whether you're in the sequence, whether it's the tens, thousands, the thousands, the hundreds, tens, or ones, which is changing each time. Take your time with those and come back when you're ready for the answers. Okay, so here are your answers. Hopefully you would have got all the ones that you answered correct. Great job if you did, well done. Okay, so let's have a look. So yesterday we were subtracting proper fractions from mixed numbers where the whole number changed. Okay, so let's just have a quick recap. So we have got 2.5 take away 3/4. So we're going to represent it with 2 whole bars and 1 half, because the 1 is the shaded part out of the 2 pieces. So because our denominator is 2, we need 2 equal parts. Okay, we then need to take away 3/4. So we need to take away 3 out of the 4 pieces. Actually, we can't. So what was the first thing we had to do yesterday? Okay, we had to find the equivalent fraction. We know that 2 times 2 is 4. So we're going to do the same with the numerator. So we've got 2 times 2 because the denominators need to be the same. Okay, so we're going to have 2 and 2/4 take away 3/4. Okay, so what we're going to do, or what we did yesterday, we represented this with 1 whole, and then we had to split this one up. It's still 1 whole because all 4 pieces are coloured, and it's the same size as this. The only thing different is that it's been divided into 4 equal parts, because 4 is our new denominator. Okay, so step 1, we don't need to look at anymore because this was our fraction before we converted it, and this is what we're looking at now. Now we need to take away 3/4. Can we take away 3 shaded parts? Okay, so if you're looking, we've got 2 and 2/4 shaded. Yeah, so we need to take away 3 of the shaded parts. So we're not going to start down here. We're going to subtract the shaded parts, okay, which is going to be here. They're the 3 shaded parts. Now can we work out our answer? How many holes have we got left? Okay, we've got 1 hole. This isn't a hole because there's not one here. How many of this part are left? Okay, we've got 3 shaded parts. So we've got 1 hole and 3 shaded parts. Our denominator stays the same. Okay. So now we're going to try and represent these with just numbers, so abstract, okay? So let's have a look. We've got 2 1/2 take away 3/4. Okay. Step 1 is still the same. We need to convert the fractions so that they have the same denominator. Okay, we've got these 2 fractions. How are we going to get to 4? Okay, we're going to times the 2 by 2, so it's got the same denominator, And then whatever we do to the denominator, we must do to the numerator. So we're going to times it both by 4. So we've now got 2 and 2/4. Take away 3/4. Okay, so step 2. We need to convert the mixed number to an improper fraction. Now an improper fraction is when the numerator is larger than the denominator. Okay, do you remember how to do that? Okay, so we need to multiply the whole number, which is the 2, by the denominator, which is the 4, and then we're going to add the numerator. Now let me show you slowly. So we're going to multiply the whole number, so 2, times it by the 4, okay, so that's 8. We know 2 times 4 is 8. Then we can't leave him out on his own, number 2 up here, we need to add him on. It's a bit lonely now because the 2 and the 4 are together, so he needs to join in. So we're going to add the 2 to the 8, which equals 10. Okay, the 10 is now our numerator, and the 4 remains the same. Okay, so we've got 10/4, take away 3/4. Because if you think about this, if we have to convert the improper fraction to a mixed number, do you remember how to do that? So we have to see how many groups of 4 are in 10, which is 2, and that gives us 8. How many are left over? And that's 2 left over. Okay, so we're just doing it the opposite way around. Okay, so as I said before, the denominator stays the same all the time. Once it's been converted to an equivalent fraction, we don't change it again. Okay, so now step 3, we can calculate it now because the denominators are the same. So we've got 10 over 4, take away 3. So we're just going to subtract along the top. 10 take away 3 is 7. And the 4 still stays the same. 7/4 or 7/4. Now, our last step. Okay, we just need to convert it back into a mixed number. Okay, so 7 over 4. How many groups of 4 go into 7? Okay, it's 1, and there's 3 left over. Okay, so you've got 1 group of 4 in 7, because it's the same as 7 divided by 4, do you remember? And then there's 1 group, and there's 3 left over. So we know that 2.5 take away 3/4 is 1 3/4. Now I wonder how many of you said when I started this part, this is the same question as the first go. It is. I was just showing you, the first go was a recap of yesterday's work. Okay, and we've just done it without the pictures. Okay, so although it sounds like a very long process, it's not once you get the hang of it. Okay, so are you ready for another go? 2.25 take away 4/8. Okay, so what are we going to do first? Our first thing we're going to do, step 1, we need to convert the fraction so they've got the same denominator. How are we going to do that? Okay, we know that 4 times 2 is 8. So once we've done that to the denominator, we must do it to the numerator, which is going to give us 2 2/8. Take away 4/8. Okay, step 2. Convert the mixed number to an improper fraction. So our mixed number is 2 2/8. We've got 2 wholes and 2/8. Take away 4/8. To convert it to an improper fraction, we're going to times the 8 by the 2, which gives us 16. And we're not going to leave this number 2 out up here. We're going to add him on, which gives us 18. So our numerator is now 18 over 8, because the denominator stays the same. So 18 over 8, take away 4/8. Okay, we're just going to calculate across the top. 18 take away 4 is 14. Denominator stays the same. Okay. I wonder how many times I've said that already, and I wonder how many more times I'm going to. It's really important that you remember. It's a bit like the speech that we listened to yesterday in English when I made you all have a guess about how many times she was going to say the same thing. Okay, so 14 over 8. Final step, we need to convert it back into a mixed number. Okay, so 8 goes into 14 just one time, and there's 6 left over. Okay, so 2 1/4, take away 4/8 is 1 6/8. That can be simplified down to 1 3/4, okay, because you can times them both by 2. Okay, but don't worry, I'm not expecting you to do that. It's really important that you just get the idea of converting the fractions to and from mixed numbers. Okay, but if you do simplify them, that's an added bonus. Okay, let's have a go at another one. 2 1/3, take away 5/6. Okay, step 1, we need to convert the fraction so that they have the same denominator. How do we get from 3 to 6? We times it by 2. Okay, how do we get from, or whatever we do to the denominator, we do to the numerator. So it's going to be 2 2/6, take away 5/6. Step 2, convert the mixed number to an improper fraction. Do you remember how to do this? Okay, so we've got our whole number here, wants to join this one, so we're going to times them together. 2 times 6 is 12, and then we're going to add this number 2 on the top. Don't leave him out. It's going to be 14. Okay, so you're times and you're multiplying the blue numbers, you're adding the green number. Okay, so that gives us 14/6, take away 5/6. So we can now calculate that. So 14 take away 5 is 9. We've got 9/6 because the denominator stays the same. And then step number 4, last thing then, is to convert it back to a mixed number. How many 6? So we've got 9 divided by 6. How many 6's go into 9? We've got 1. How many left over? 3. Okay, so 9/6 is equivalent to 1 3/6, which is the answer to our question. Okay, have a go at yourself. Okay, I'm going to leave the steps on the screen to help you. Okay, take it step by step. If you need to go back for each step, then do so. Okay, if you need to go back through the video every time you do a question, then please do. Okay, I really want you to try your best to understand this and all the different processes involved. Okay, so the questions you've got is 4 1/2 take away 3/4, 3 1/3 take away 5/6, 4 2/3 take away 5/6, and 2 1/4 take away 7/8. Okay, please don't feel that you have to do all of these questions. Okay, so yesterday, for instance, we had 5 questions. I would always aim for 3. Okay, if you find that the questions are taking you an awfully long time, then just do 2. Okay, do whatever makes you feel happy with what you've done. Don't feel like you have to do all of the questions all of the time. Okay, it's always worth doing at least 2, because if you do number 1 and you get it right, you might think, oh, this is easy, and then number 2 might be a little bit trickier. But I always include more questions, just because if there's some children that are going through this really quickly, or they've done it previously and find it easy, or they've got more time than you and they want to do more, then there's more questions for them. But please don't feel like you have to do all of the questions all of the time. Just do what you feel capable of, okay? It certainly shouldn't be anything that takes you more than what our normal lesson would, okay? So the whole video, with you pausing and things, if you think of a maths lesson as about an hour, it shouldn't take you any more than an hour. Okay, that's without your arithmetic though, okay, because we do arithmetic before we start our actual maths lesson. Okay, pause the video and come back when you're ready for the answers, and we will go through the answers step by step. Good luck. Okay, so number 1, we've got 4.5, we're taking away 3/4. So step 1 was to convert the fractions. Okay, so we're going to do 4 2/4, take away 3/4. Okay, so we've done that. We now need to do step 2, which was to convert the mixed number to an improper fraction. Okay, so to do that, we're going to times the 4 by 4. Okay, so that's our whole number by our denominator. We're going to add on this number 2, that's all by himself. So that's going to be 18 over 4, because the denominator stays the same. And then you're going to take away 3/4, which is 15/4. And then step 4, you're going to convert it back to a mixed number. Okay, so 4 goes into 15 3 times, and there's 3 left over. Okay, because we know now that 3 times 4 is 12, plus 3 is 15. Okay, number 2. 3 1/3, take away 5/6. Step 1, convert the fraction so they've got the same denominator. We know that 3 times 2 is 6, 1 times 2 is 2. So we've got 3 2/6. Okay, we can't calculate them yet because we've still got that whole number. So let's do step 2 and convert it to an improper fraction. So we're going to times 6 by 3. 6 times 3 is 18, plus the 2. It's going to give us 26. Take away 5/6 is 15/6. So we've calculated for step 3. And then finally, step 4. How many 6's go into 15? You've got 2 and 3/6. Okay, or it could also be 2 1/2 if we simplify it. Number 3, 4 2/3, take away 5/6. So step 1, we're going to convert the fractions so they've got the same denominator. So we know 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 4/6, take away 5/6. Still can't do it because we've got a mixed number. So let's convert this to an improper fraction. 6 times 4 is 24, plus this 4 here, don't leave him out, it's 28. Take away 5/6, okay, is 23, because 28 take away 5 is 23. 23 divided by 6, so how many groups of 6 are in 23? It's 3 and 5/6. And then lastly, we've got 2 1/4, take away 7/8. Step 1, convert the denominators. Step 2, change it to an improper fraction. So 8 times 2 is 16, plus the 2 is 18. 18 take away 7/8 is 11/8. 11 divided by 8, or how many groups of 8 go into 11? It's 1 3/8. Okay, I'm really hoping that that was clear for you today. Okay, I broke it up into as many steps as I could. Okay, and I'm really hoping that you've got on with those and you haven't found it too much work. But as I say, if you do, then please just take it step by step. You can always do a bit in the morning and go back in the afternoon if you want to, or if you've got time, you don't have to. Okay, any learning that you're doing at home is better than nothing. So, final thought then. Can you match the calculations to the correct answers? Okay, so you might want to pause the video here, okay, and work out these fractions. Okay, so it's a little bit more practice and see which one. You've got 4 answers there, okay. If I were you, I would look carefully at the denominators because one of them you can match straight away. Okay, so have a go and come back when you're ready for the answers. Okay, so A, 3 1/3 take away 8/12. Okay, so you should have used the method that we've just been doing to find that the answer is 2 2/3. Okay, so the answer you might have might be in 12ths, but if you can simplify it will take it down to 2 2/3. Then we've got B, 2 3/9 take away 2/3. Okay, again, if you notice, these 3 denominators are 3. Okay, so 12 you can divide by 4 to get 3. 9 you can divide by 3 to get 3, and 12 you can divide by 4 to get 3. Okay, so they've just been simplified. So 2 3/9 take away 2/3 is 1 2/3. Now C kind of gave it away a little bit because our denominator is 15. Okay, so that can't be simplified because it's 13 over 15. So this denominator gave it away. So then last of all, 2 1/3 goes to 3/4 take away 11/12. Okay, excellent work today, guys. That's all for me for today. Okay, but have a lovely, lovely weekend. I shall see you Monday morning for maths, and I am back in school in the class bubble on Tuesday. So I shall see you then. Take care and stay safe. Bye.